7:38 p.m., Santa Monica, California. The sun was going down. It made everything golden and warm. People were walking their dogs, kids were riding skateboards, and happy music was playing from restaurants. Everything felt calm and peaceful. But one police officer was about to mess it all up. His name was Officer Logan Rourke. He was tall, had a buzz cut, and always acted like he was in charge. He liked to cause trouble when he saw people he didn't think belonged. He was mean to people who looked different. That night, he saw a big, strong man with brown skin wearing a black hoodie and sweatpants. The man had a duffel bag over his shoulder and was walking to a truck. It was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, a famous actor and wrestler. But Rourke didn't know who he was. The Rock had just finished working out at a private gym. He was tired and wanted to go home. There were no bodyguards, no cameras, just him enjoying a quiet night. As he unlocked his truck, flashing lights suddenly lit up behind him. The Rock turned around, confused. "Can I help you?" he asked. Officer Rourke stepped out of his police car, holding his hand near his gun. "You in a rush to leave the scene?" he asked rudely. "The scene of what?" The Rock said, raising an eyebrow. "We got a call about a suspicious car. You match the description. Step away from the vehicle." The Rock didn't move. "I was just at a private gym. That's my truck. My license is on the dashboard. Are you sure you have the right guy?" Rourke didn't like that answer. He got mad. "Are you refusing a lawful order?" he snapped. More people started to notice and stopped to watch. One person even took out their phone to record. The Rock stayed calm. "I'm not trying to argue," he said. "But you're making a mistake." Rourke walked closer. He didn't want to listen. Then suddenly, he shoved the Rock hard against the truck. People watching gasped. A woman yelled, "Hey!" He didn't do anything. But Rourke didn't stop. He tried to grab the Rock's hands like he was arresting a bad guy. Into his radio he shouted, "Suspect not listening. Need backup." The Rock's face changed. He was no longer calm. He was angry now. "You want to grab me?" The Rock said in a low, serious voice. "Then I hope you're ready to learn something you'll never forget." Before Rourke could move, the Rock twisted away, grabbed Rourke's arm, spun him around, and pinned him against the police car. It happened super fast. People cheered. Phones were out, recording everything. Someone shouted, "He didn't fight back. That cop attacked him." The Rock leaned close to Rourke and said, "This isn't just about me. It's about everyone you've ever pushed around. But today, you picked the wrong person." 7:52 p.m., same parking lot. Officer Rourke was now face down on the hood of his own car. His radio was making weird noises. He was shocked and breathing hard. Standing over him was the Rock. He was calm but clearly still upset. "Get off me!" Rourke shouted. "You attacked a police officer." The Rock growled, "You're lucky I stayed calm. If this was years ago, you'd be knocked out." More and more people gathered. Phones were recording. A teenager whispered to his phone, "Bro, that's the Rock. He just dropped that cop like a sack of potatoes." Then sirens screamed. 2 more police cars showed up. Officers jumped out, their hands near their guns. "Step away from the officer," they shouted. "Hands where we can see them." The Rock stepped back with his hands up, but he wasn't scared. "You should check the body cameras and talk to this guy," the Rock said, pointing at Rourke. "And maybe talk to all these people too." The new officers looked around. So many people were watching. Cameras were everywhere. An older officer came forward. "Sir, were you just attacked?" The Rock nodded. "Yes. He shoved me, tried to arrest me, and lied on the radio." He even reached for his baton. Then someone else spoke. A deep, kind voice. That's what happened. I saw the whole thing. Everyone turned. It was Henry Dalton, a retired police detective with a cane and a phone in hand. This officer didn't even know who he stopped. He just got mad. But The Rock doesn't start fights, he finishes them. That was it. The older officer said, "Take Rourke's badge and his weapon." He's done. The crowd clapped. Phones showed Rourke being handcuffed and put in the back of the car. His face was red. But he still yelled, "He attacked me." No one believed him now. The videos were already online. By midnight, millions of people had seen it. Racist cop attacks The Rock. Cop gets owned by Hollywood star. The Rock teaches a lesson in respect. That night, The Rock sat at home. He had an ice pack on his shoulder and was looking at messages. People said things like, "Thank you for standing up for all of us. My son said you're a real hero." He smiled a little, then picked up the phone. "Call Internal Affairs," he said. "This isn't over." That officer should never wear a badge again. 10:16 a.m., Internal Affairs Office, Los Angeles. Detective Sienna Cruz was looking through papers and drinking coffee. She had a file in front of her, Officer Logan Rourke. She read it carefully. There were 5 complaints from people saying Rourke was mean or hurt them, but none were ever investigated. 2 videos were lost. One officer tried to report him once but then took it back. There was even a video where he shoved a disabled veteran. She whispered, "He's been protected. This isn't the first time." She typed a note, "Suspend Rourke. Start a full investigation." Back at The Rock's house, he was reading more messages. People from all over the world were cheering him on. Then his assistant walked in. "This letter came for you. No name, no return address." The Rock opened it. It was just one sentence. Rourke was part of something called Blue Shield South. Look it up. Be careful. They protect their own. He frowned. What was Blue Shield South? He searched online. At first, nothing showed up. But then he found an old photo. It was a group of police officers from a small town. They were known for being mean to people, giving unfair tickets, and scaring them. And in the photo, Rourke. In the back. Arms crossed. Later that day, Detective Cruz called. "Mr. Johnson, thank you for staying calm during that moment." "Wasn't easy," The Rock said. "You should know, Rourke's been hiding for years. But this isn't just about him. I found something called Blue Shield South. You should look into it." Han's eyes widened. "We will." Meanwhile, Rourke was alone in a small room. No badge. No gun. No power. A TV on the wall showed the video of The Rock pinning him again and again. His lawyer walked in. Rourke said, "They think this is over." His lawyer replied, "It might be, because someone is digging into Blue Shield South." Rourke's face twitched. He looked nervous now. Because he knew, if they find those old files, everything will burn. At 9 in the morning, the whole country was watching TV. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was sitting in a chair, across from a lady named Leah Monroe. He wasn't there as a movie star or wrestler. He was there because something very wrong happened to him, and he wanted to talk about it. Leah leaned in and asked, "Dwayne, everyone saw what happened. You were so calm. But now you're saying this wasn't just one bad police officer." Dwayne nodded. "Nope," he said. "This wasn't a mistake. This officer was doing what he was taught. Other officers acted the same way too." Then Dwayne held up a picture. "This is a group called Blue Shield South. They used to be a team of police officers who thought they could do anything, even if it was wrong." People on the internet started talking even more. They made up new hashtags like #ExposeTheShield and #JusticeWithStrength. People weren't just watching. They started looking for clues. That afternoon, Dwayne got an email. It said, "I tried to tell people this story years ago. Now I have more." At 2:15 p.m., at a small cafe downtown, Dwayne met a lady named Talia Reid. She was a smart reporter who lost her job 5 years ago when she tried to tell everyone about Blue Shield South. She put a thick folder on the table. "These are stories from 17 people," she said. "They were stopped for no reason, treated badly, and even hurt. No one believed them. No one stopped the bad cops. Some were sent to other cities. One of them, Officer Rourke, disappeared for a while, but now he's back in Santa Monica." Dwayne shook his head. "So nobody did anything?" "They did worse than nothing," Talia said. "They protected the bad guys." At the police station, things were crazy. Reporters were outside. People were shouting. Inside, a detective named Cruz gave a big paper to her captain. She said, "Look, Rourke has been part of lots of stops that were flagged for being unfair. And guess what? 2 more officers from his old group are working nearby too." That night, Dwayne made a video. He looked straight into the camera and said, "This isn't about being famous. It's about people who don't have cameras or fans to protect them. The cops messed with the wrong guy this time. But next time, it could be someone who doesn't get another chance. We're not stopping with Rourke. We're going after the whole system." But somewhere in a dark room, another ex-cop from Blue Shield South was watching Dwayne's video. He closed his laptop and picked up a secret phone. Rourke opened the door and the man said, "We have to fix this ourselves, before someone else does." At 12:43 in the morning, in Los Angeles, a man in a gray hoodie sat in a car. It was dark and quiet. He looked at a phone. The message on it said, "He's talking too much. Stop him." The man hit send. Far away, a phone in another car buzzed. The plan had started. Meanwhile, Dwayne was at home with Talia and Detective Cruz. They were going over papers and notes. They had found more than 20 old members of Blue Shield South, now working in different cities. Han said, "We thought Rourke was the end of it." Talia added, "But he's just the one who got caught. The others are still hiding." Dwayne said, "Then let's bring them out. Let's show everyone." At 7:18 a.m., Dwayne's assistant Nina got in her car. Something felt weird. The engine worked, but the dashboard lights blinked strangely. She stepped out and saw a phone taped under the car. It was glowing. She called Dwayne right away. The police came fast. It wasn't a bomb, it was a GPS tracker. Someone had been watching her and planning something. At the police station, Cruz found out where the tracker came from. It led back to an old police case and a tech guy who helped hide bad cops. Later that day, Dwayne got a call from a man who said, "I'm Eli Tanaka. I worked with Rourke. I want to help, but not in public." "Why?" Dwayne asked. "I have a family," Eli said. "These people don't just send threats. They really hurt people. But I have a flash drive." That night, in a locked room, Dwayne, Han, and Talia plugged in the flash drive. Inside, they found papers telling police how to act tough during stops with minorities. There were sound recordings of officers joking about hurting people. And a video, Rourke and 3 other cops watching a video of a man being pushed down and laughing. These weren't just bad cops. They were part of something really scary. A secret group that used fear and lies and destroyed evidence. Dwayne stood tall and said, "We've got them now. We're not just stopping them, we're making sure this never happens again." But outside, in a car, the man in the hoodie was watching. He turned on a recorder and whispered, He has help now, the reporter, the detective, the one who switched sides. I'll take care of it. At 2:12 a.m., in Talia's apartment, the window broke. A man dressed in black came in. He had gloves and a flashlight. He didn't want to steal, he was looking for the flash drive. But Talia was ready. She turned on the lights and pointed a stun baton at him. "Wrong apartment, officer," she said. Before he could run, the door flew open. Dwayne was there. He had come with Cruz just minutes earlier. When he saw the man, Dwayne grabbed him and threw him across the room. The table broke. Talia kicked the man's gun away. Cruz put handcuffs on him. At 3:20 a.m., the man sat in a police room. He wouldn't say his name, but the computer knew him. His name was Derek Voss. He used to be in Blue Shield South too. He helped other bad cops stay hidden. In the morning, the news went wild. Break-in at reporter's home. The Rock stops the ex-cop. People were mad. They marched outside police buildings. They wanted justice. Dwayne stayed quiet for a bit. He was getting ready. Later, he stood outside the police station where Rourke used to work. Reporters and cameras were everywhere. He looked out and said, "They tried to hide the truth. They tried to scare me. But I'm not the kind of person you can scare. They came after me, my friends, and my team. But men like me don't hide, we get louder." That night, Talia posted her big story. She named names. She posted papers and videos. She showed how the group had hurt almost 40 people. People flooded phone lines with more stories. More victims spoke up. Then, in a quiet room, an FBI agent gave Dwayne a folder. "This is from someone inside the police school," the agent said. "It's a list of students trained in a special way. See any names you know?" Dwayne looked. One name made him stop. Kane Mercer. He was still working as a police officer. He had once been called dangerous by his old boss. But somehow, he got promoted. Hahn whispered, he was Rourke's roommate back in the Blue Shield days. "We thought he disappeared." Dwayne said, "He didn't disappear. He went quiet. Now we find him, before he finishes what Rourke started." At 8:42 a.m., in a room full of FBI agents, they looked at Kane Mercer photo. He had been moved around a lot and now was quietly training other officers. Cruz said, "He's the last one from Blue Shield South who hasn't been caught yet." Talia added, "He's smart. He doesn't leave clues. He gives orders in secret ways." But the FBI had found something, an old photo of Kane meeting with Rourke, just days before Rourke attacked Dwayne. It wasn't by accident. It was a plan. Later that day, at the Rock's training gym, everything was locked up tight. There were cameras everywhere and guards with big flashlights at the gates. But the Rock wasn't sitting around. He was working hard, lifting heavy weights, running, and punching. He was using all his anger to get stronger. He knew a bad man named Mercer wouldn't run away. He knew Mercer would try to sneak back in secretly. 2:11 p.m. A trap was ready. The government said it was okay. Cruz sent a fake message to an old friend of Mercer. The message said something was wrong. Johnson wanted the world to know everything. Talia had saved some important files just in case. They waited a long time. Nothing happened. Then, ping. Mercer opened the message. 2 hours later, cameras saw him go into a building where the government keeps papers. He had stolen a badge to sneak in. Mercer wasn't just trying to hide what he did. He was planning something big. 5:47 p.m. At the Rock's gym, a box showed up. It didn't have a name on it. Inside was a phone that turned on by itself. A voice played from it. "You think you're helping people, Dwayne," it said. "But you're waking up a big machine that fights back. You were never the real target. You were just the warning. Next time, you'll be the one hurt." The Rock crushed the phone in his hand. "No more messages," he said. "Let's go find him." 7:33 p.m. A quiet parking garage in downtown LA. FBI agents followed a special signal from a tracker they had secretly put in Mercer's old locker. They walked quietly toward a dark car. The windows were hard to see through. But when they opened the door, no one was inside. The car was cold. On the seat, there was a photo. It showed The Rock, Han, and Talia. Their faces were crossed out with red markers. This wasn't just a scare. It was personal now. Mercer wasn't hiding. He was coming after them. 9:12 p.m. In East Hollywood, Nina, The Rock's helper, walked out of her apartment. She held a coffee and her laptop bag. She was going to meet Talia for some work. She didn't see the man sitting in the car across the street. She didn't see the shiny camera lens. She didn't hear the little click when the man took her picture. But it was Mercer. He was watching. And he wasn't there to be nice. 10:03 p.m. At Talia's apartment, Nina never showed up. No phone call. No message. Talia's phone buzzed. It was a text from a number she didn't know. It said, "Your story ends with silence." The message had a blurry photo of Nina walking alone. 10:04 p.m. Back at The Rock's gym, he got a call. He didn't ask anything. He grabbed his jacket, his keys, and left fast. Talia sent the location from the message. Crews called in an FBI team. But The Rock didn't wait. "This isn't just a threat," he said. "This is the final move. Let's finish it." 10:31 p.m. In a quiet lot in South LA, a single street light blinked. Inside an old warehouse, Nina was tied to a chair. She was awake but scared. Mercer walked around her slowly. "You work for the man who wants to change everything," he said. "Do you know what I used to do to people like that?" Before Nina could speak, a loud voice came from the dark. "Try it." It was The Rock. He stepped out into the light. He had no weapon. But he had no fear. Mercer got mad. "You should have stayed famous," he yelled. "You should have stayed hidden," The Rock said back. Then the fight started. It wasn't just a fight. It was something big. Mercer ran at him first with a baton. The Rock moved fast and slammed him into a wall. The wall cracked. But Mercer knew how to fight. He swung back. The Rock blocked him, then punched him hard in the belly. It made a loud sound. He grabbed Mercer by the shirt and looked into his eyes. "You hurt her. You scared my people. And now, every day you wake up in jail, you'll remember this." Mercer tried to grab a knife. But he was too late. The Rock headbutted him. Mercer fell to the ground. The FBI came just after that. Mercer was hurt and bleeding. But he was caught. Nina was safe now, even though she was still shaking. That night, The Rock didn't talk to the news. He didn't tweet. He just posted one thing: justice delivered. No claps needed. But in Washington, the news changed everything. Senators asked for a big check on police groups linked to Blue Shield South. Lots of people started talking. Some shared secrets. People finally started to believe. 9 a.m. The next day, at the U.S. Attorney's Office in L.A., microphones clicked. A lawyer stood at a podium. The FBI and other officials stood behind her. "After weeks of work," she said, "we are charging a secret police group called Blue Shield South. They broke laws, hurt people, and tried to hide it." Then she said the big words everyone waited to hear. This wouldn't have happened without Dwayne Johnson, his team, and all the brave people who spoke up. Meanwhile, outside the courthouse, many families came together. Moms, dads, and kids held photos. These were pictures of people hurt or scared by bad cops. One mom walked up to the rock. She held a photo of her son. "They told me my son fought back," she said. "They told me it was okay. But your story showed me I wasn't wrong. I just haven't heard." She gave him the photo. His name was Jamal. The rock looked at it. Then I looked at her. "They'll never forget Jamal again," he said. At home, Talia's report was now online. It was called Shield of Silence. It told everything about how a secret group of cops hurt people they were supposed to protect. In just 3 days, 15 million people read it. It was shared all around the world. People understood it wasn't just an American problem. It was a human one. 10:14 a.m. At the Santa Monica Police Department, Logan Rourke watched all this on the jail TV. He used to smirk. Now he was quiet. Even he didn't think The Rock would go this far. He thought it would be over after one news story. But now every day he was the example. Later that night, there was a big city meeting. The mayor, city council, and police chiefs stood together. A big sign behind them said, "No shield above accountability." They all agreed to do big things. A new team of regular people would help check police behavior. All bad reports about police would be open to the public. New training would help stop racism and teach peace. They called the new law the Dwayne Johnson Reform Bill. Back at home, Nina stood next to The Rock as reporters asked him what made him proud. He looked at his friends, the papers, the saved files, and his healing bruises. "I'm proud," he said, "that we made sure no one else gets hurt just for being who they are." 8 p.m. In Washington, D.C., the big hall for civil accountability was full. Over 4,000 people waited. Then The Rock walked out. No fancy clothes. No spotlight. Just a strong man who stood up when others couldn't. He went to the microphone. No speech. Just his heart. Some people said it was just one bad cop, he said. But they didn't see the papers. The faces. They didn't hear the cries. Because no one was listening. He paused. The room was quiet. This started when a man in a uniform pushed me without reason. He thought I'd back down. But I've been fighting all my life. For respect, for family, for people with no voice. He looked out. When I saw his eyes, I didn't see power. I saw fear. Fear of being found out. Of justice finally winning. The crowd stood up and clapped loudly. To everyone who was ever pushed, silenced, or blamed just for being alive, I see you. And to all the good officers, thank you. But we don't protect the badge by hiding the bad ones. We protect it by cleaning them out. That's what this fight was. That's what it will always be. Later that night, the news shared big updates. The government charged many officers in 3 states. Police bosses were changed. Talia got an award for brave reporting. Nina got a medal for staying strong. And The Rock got a special award for helping people. Outside City Hall, a statue was shown. It was The Rock, not fighting, just standing. His arms were down. His face is calm. A broken police shield was at his feet. On the statue base were the words, "He didn't fight with fists first. He fought with truth." And it hit harder than anything else. The final message played in The Rock's voice. Justice isn't just a news story. It's something we build together. We keep it strong, even when no one's watching. And we make sure it grows, brave, bold, and unafraid. Tell me in the comments.